God says, the angels are in shock because only you still don't know what happened last night. Watch this now. God says, hurry up. This is your last chance to know the whole truth before it's too late. Open this message before 9 p.m. tonight. Something happened while you were sleeping, a shift in the spiritual realm, a movement that shook the heavens. The angels stood still, heaven held its breath. But somehow, only you still haven't seen what it was. And God is saying, you need to know now, before it's too late. Don't scroll away. Don't miss this. This could be the one moment that changes everything for you. Stay with this till the end, or risk walking away from a breakthrough you've been praying for your whole life. If your heart feels stirred, comment Amen to declare your faith now. Last night, while the world was quiet and your eyes were closed, there was a divine decision made about you. A conversation in heaven. Your name was spoken in the presence of angels. God saw the weight you've been carrying, the silent tears, the unanswered prayers, and in the stillness of that night, He released something in your favor. But here's the truth that's hard to grasp. The angels are shocked because you're the only one who hasn't received it yet. Not because God hasn't sent it, but because the enemy has tried to distract you, cloud your mind, delay your vision. That's why this is urgent. There was a decree of deliverance written for your name. A door was unlocked in the spiritual world. And if you don't realize it now, if you miss this moment, you might walk past the miracle God set right in front of you. That's why He's calling to you so clearly. You have to know what happened. You have to awaken to what was done for you before the clock turns again. This isn't a message of fear, it's one of rescue. God's rescue for your soul, your calling, your next chapter. But you have to act on it. If you believe God is revealing this to you for a reason, comment 1111 as a sign you believe. You've been crying for clarity. You've been waiting for something to change, for something to make sense. You've asked, God, are you still with me? And last night, He answered. But because you've been exhausted, because the battle has drained you, you couldn't see it. That's why God is now speaking louder. This is your wake-up call. What happened last night wasn't ordinary. It was a spiritual unlocking. Chains broke in the unseen. Generational curses began to shatter. You just haven't seen it in the physical yet. But it's coming. And when it arrives, it's going to be bigger than what you expected, but only if you receive it. God has been protecting you from attacks you didn't even know were aimed at you. Last night, the battle intensified, but heaven won it for you. Your angels stood guard when hell tried to come for your peace. You were preserved, not because of your strength, but because of God's mercy. And now He's trying to show you that your deliverance is already in motion. You're not waiting for it. It's already begun. But you must align with it before it passes you by. That's why this moment is holy. There are some blessings that have been hovering above you, waiting for your spirit to awaken and claim them. They cannot fall into a distracted soul. They need someone who's ready. And God is saying to you right now, ready yourself. I'm about to pour out what I promised you long ago. He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't turned His back. He's been preparing the stage for your breakthrough in ways you couldn't see. That delay you felt, it wasn't rejection. It was divine timing holding back the floodgates until the moment was right. And now this is the moment. You must understand, this is not a normal day, not after what happened last night. The angels who watch over you have seen what's coming. That's why they were shocked when you woke up still unaware. They expected celebration. They expected praise, because heaven already moved. But now, God is waking you gently but urgently. Because if you stay asleep spiritually, the enemy will try to confuse you, to cause you to miss your door of favor. But God says, not this time, not today. You will not miss it if you stay with me. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. Heaven has marked you. You are chosen. You are protected. Even in your lowest, God's hand was on you. And now, the shift has happened. The timing has changed. Last night was the turning point. But what you do now will decide what comes next. God is giving you one last chance before the spiritual window closes for this cycle. There is favor trying to reach you, destiny trying to catch up to you, and your heart needs to be open, alert, and ready to receive it. That pain you've carried, God saw it. That loneliness you never told anyone about, God heard the silence. That prayer you whispered in the middle of the night, not even sure if he was listening, he was. And last night, he answered. Now you just need to receive what he's already done. That's the truth. It's already done. Your miracle is in motion. Your victory is released. But you have to open your eyes to see it. If something deep inside you knows this is real, comment 222 as a declaration that you trust. God is not late. He is right on time. And this message found you at the exact moment it needed to. He is calling your heart to awaken to what has already happened for you in the spiritual realm. The devil hoped you would miss this moment, that you would be too busy, too numb, too distracted. But God interrupted your day with this, because he won't let you walk past your blessing unknowingly. It's time to open your hands and expect. Expect restoration. Expect answers. Expect the chains to finally break, because heaven already moved, and now it's your turn. If any part of your heart feels this is speaking directly to you, I ask just once, like this video, so that this word reaches more people before it's too late. Is it possible to attract money by simply speaking some miraculous words? This 9-word script, verified by Harvard and 6 neuroscience labs, proves you absolutely can. People are using it from their couch and reporting unexpected bank deposits, cleared debts, and upgraded lives. It takes less than 30 seconds. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. The angels were prepared to celebrate with you the moment you woke. They had already seen the chains fall. They saw the darkness lift. They were ready for you to rise with joy and fire in your heart. But instead, they watched you carry yesterday's burden into today. They were silent, stunned, because heaven had already declared victory, yet you didn't even know you had won. That's why God is speaking louder now. He won't let you walk in defeat when he's already released your victory. If your faith is rising even a little, comment 333 to declare your trust in God's timing. You have to understand something sacred. What God set in motion last night wasn't small. It wasn't just for comfort. It was for your calling. You've been asking for purpose, direction, meaning. You've been searching for answers that don't come easy. But while you slept, heaven moved everything into alignment. The delays you've been facing weren't punishments. They were God holding back the storm until your spirit was ready to step into what he's designed for you. And now he says, this is it. Walk into it before the moment passes. There are seasons in life when God moves so quietly, you almost think nothing is happening. Then, there are moments like this, when his voice breaks through everything, calling you directly, urgently. This is one of those moments. If you knew what was waiting for you just on the other side of this step of faith, you wouldn't hesitate. You'd run into it. There's a miracle waiting for your yes. a breakthrough waiting for your surrender. God's not holding it back. He's waiting for you to believe it's yours. Last night, angels were dispatched on your behalf. Not because you're perfect, not because you've done everything right, but because God loves you deeply, because He sees the hidden wounds, the silent battles, the way you keep showing up even when you feel like giving up. He rewarded that faith in the night. That's why He sent this message to reach you now, because the answer is already on its way, and the enemy is working hard to convince you otherwise. There is a lie the enemy wants you to believe, that you are forgotten, overlooked, unseen, but God says you are marked, chosen, protected. And last night, He made that clear in heaven. He removed barriers that were stopping your progress. He softened the hearts of people who've been resistant to your growth. He turned away harm that was coming toward you. You don't even know how many attacks He blocked in silence while you were sleeping. You don't see it, but heaven has been working overtime to carry you through. If you're ready to walk in what God has already released, comment 555 now to stand in agreement. God is revealing the truth about your life, and it's this: you were born for something greater than what you've settled for. The limits others placed on you, the fear you've lived with, the doubts that follow you like shadows, none of those came from God. He didn't design you to live in spiritual silence. He made you to roar with faith, to walk boldly into rooms that fear once told you to avoid. And last night, something inside you shifted, even if you didn't feel it, even if you're still unsure. Your spirit knows. Deep down it knows. God is not only restoring what was broken, He's doing something brand new, something that doesn't even compare to what you lost. You've cried over closed doors, but God is now opening a path that's never been walked before. That's why you feel the weight, the intensity, the emotion, because heaven is pulling you into something unfamiliar but holy. This isn't just about blessing, this is about becoming the version of you that God had in mind all along. And to become that, you need to know what happened last night. Wasn't just spiritual, it was prophetic. You're not late, you haven't missed your moment, but you're at the edge now. The clock is ticking. The gate is open, but not for long. God says this is your moment to step forward, to leave behind every lie and limitation that's tried to define you. You were made for more. You were created with intention. And heaven is confirming it now. That's why you feel this urgency, because the time is now. What happened last night has already changed things. The old chains won't hold you anymore. The fear that used to paralyze you won't speak the same way again. God's hand is rewriting your story in real time. He's putting pieces back together. He's opening doors no man can shut. And even though you may still feel unsure, the shift is already happening. You're not waiting for a move of God, you're standing in it right now. You need to understand how serious this is. You are not just another name in the crowd. You are not just going through random battles. What you've been walking through has been preparation for something specific, something divine. And what happened last night unlocked the beginning of that. That's why the angels were in shock you didn't know yet. You woke up and thought it was just another day. But heaven is on high alert because your life just entered a new timeline, and your awareness of it is the key to walking in it fully. If your heart is still holding on through the storm, comment 777 right now, and let the heavens know you still trust. There's a reason you didn't give up. A reason you kept going when everything in you wanted to stop. God saw that. Every tear that no one else saw, He counted. Every moment you kept moving, even when your heart was breaking, He honored. That's what last night was about. Reward, release, restoration. God doesn't forget the faithful, even when the world does. He steps in when it looks too late and makes everything beautiful again. That's what's happening now. He is restoring everything the enemy tried to steal from you and more. What if everything you've been taught about money is a lie? A hidden 9-word prayer buried in a classified FBI report is now helping thousands attract wealth without lifting a finger. Scientists say it activates a 150-million-year-old part of your brain that controls abundance. Harvard-backed, lab-tested, life-changing. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. You've been through spiritual warfare that most people would never understand. You've wrestled with doubt, disappointment, discouragement. You've cried out in the dark, "God, where are you?" And He was right there, holding you when you couldn't feel Him, surrounding you when you thought you were alone. And now the silence has broken. God is revealing that the reason it's been so hard lately is because the enemy was panicking. He knew what heaven was preparing. He knew your blessing was coming, and he tried to make you quit right before it arrived. You have no idea how close you are to everything changing, but God does. That's why this message is not random. It's a divine interruption, a spiritual wake-up call. The blessings that have been waiting on the edge of your life are now beginning to move toward you, and this time, you won't miss them. This time, you will walk in them, because you've been prepared by fire, refined by pain, and kept by grace. The storm didn't break you, it built you. And now the rain is about to become your harvest. You've been asking God to show you a sign, to confirm that He still has a plan. This is it. The timing of this isn't by chance. God chose today, this exact moment, to whisper to your soul that the shift has already happened. You don't need to wait for the breakthrough. You just need to recognize that it's here, that everything you thought was delayed was actually being aligned. And now it's time to move, like the promise is already yours, because it is. If you believe this message reached you at the right time, comment 999 as your personal confirmation. There are moments in life when God's voice breaks through all the noise, not in thunder, not in a roar, but in a deep knowing in your spirit that says, "This is for me." If you feel that now, it's because your spirit remembers what your mind is just starting to understand. Something happened in heaven while you slept, and that something is now beginning to appear on earth. The shift may be invisible to your eyes, but it's shaking the ground beneath your feet. This is the fulfillment of prayers you forgot you prayed. You don't need to strive. You don't need to beg. You just need to align your faith, lift your head, open your heart. What's coming is not a maybe, it's a certainty. God is not a man that He should lie. What He spoke over your life will come to pass. Last night wasn't a suggestion, it was a command. Heaven moved. Angels were assigned. And now you are walking into a new reality. One where the pain no longer controls you, one where your past no longer defines you. This is the season where your identity is being restored. You are not what happened to you. You are not the failures or the losses. You are a child of the King. And last night, your Father in heaven set everything in motion to bring you back into alignment with your true self. Not the broken you, not the scared you, but the bold, chosen, anointed you. That version of you is already rising. You can feel it every time you catch your breath and think, maybe God really is doing something new in me. He is, and it's already begun. This moment is sacred, not because of the words being spoken, but because of the presence of God that is surrounding you right now. You might not see it, but something holy is wrapping around your heart. You might not hear it, but heaven is rejoicing. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be to receive what's coming. But you need to stay awake, spiritually awake. Because what started last night is still unfolding, and you don't want to sleep through your own breakthrough. God isn't asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to be present, to believe, to receive. This isn't about deserving a blessing. It's about knowing who your Father is. And your Father is faithful. He is just. He is loving. And He is pouring out something new over your life. You may not understand all the details. You may not see how it will come together. But God never needed your understanding, only your faith. And if you hold on to that now, you will see what He promised you long ago. For too long, you've been wondering when your season would shift. You've watched others move ahead, receive answers, walk into joy, and you asked, when will it be my time? God's reply came in the middle of the night when your soul was quiet enough to hear the whisper of heaven. He said, now. He didn't forget you. He was preparing you. And what happened last night wasn't delayed favor, it was perfect timing. This is the hour everything begins to make sense, but only if you open your eyes and walk in it. If your heart is still believing through the silence, comment 1010 to affirm your faith in His plan. Don't underestimate what's happening right now. This message found you because your spirit was crying out for confirmation, and God in His mercy answered. He didn't let you stay in the dark. He didn't leave you wondering. He sent a word to wake you up before the enemy could steal what's already yours. The truth is, heaven was activated on your behalf. That's why things have felt strange lately. That's why your emotions have been up and down. Your soul has been feeling the pull of something bigger than what you've seen. Last night, the scrolls of your destiny were unsealed. The plans God has been forming in silence were released. Your name was called in the courts of heaven. And when God speaks your name, everything must respond. Chains break, fear flees, doors open. The angels take their positions and assignments shift. The atmosphere around you has already changed, even if your circumstances haven't caught up yet. But they will. Because what starts in the spirit always manifests in time, and that time is coming quicker than you think. Why are neuroscientists obsessed with a 9-word sentence? Because this sentence, spoken once a day, is turning financial stress into sudden blessings. More than 19,000 people have already used it to erase debt and unlock a life of wealth, freedom, and peace. The results are so powerful, some believe it's divine. If you're seeing this, you're lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. You may not feel ready. You may still be holding on to past disappointments, but God doesn't need your perfection. He just needs your surrender. You don't need to figure everything out. You just need to stay close to Him. The same God who whispered over your life last night is walking with you today. The same power that shook heaven is now filling your space with divine peace and direction. This is what favor feels like when it first arrives. Unfamiliar, overwhelming, and holy. You are not cursed. You are not abandoned. You are divinely chosen for this exact moment. Every attack against you, every season of waiting, every heartbreak has led to this. And now, you're being invited to see what was always yours. The delay didn't destroy your destiny, it preserved it. God didn't forget His promise, He protected it. And now, He's placing it in your hands, not because you earned it, but because you kept believing when it didn't make sense. If you feel a shift happening even as you read, comment 1515 to agree that your time has come. The spiritual realm is more real than what you see. What happened last night wasn't just symbolic, it was real. Heaven is not silent about your future. It's active. God has been orchestrating divine meetings, preparing the right people, aligning situations, and creating opportunities in the background. You haven't seen it yet, but it's all been for you. He's been putting the final touches on the next chapter of your life. That's why the enemy tried so hard to confuse you, distract you, and wear you down. But it didn't work. You're still standing, and that means you're still in position. This isn't the season to shrink back. This is the time to rise. You are not the same person who entered that battle. You've grown, even if it didn't feel like it. You've become stronger, wiser, and more spiritually awake. And now, God is trusting you with more. Not just more blessing, but more purpose, more influence, more revelation. You are being positioned to carry something bigger than yourself. That's why you couldn't break, no matter how intense the pressure became. Because you were being prepared for release. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And you, beloved, are called. You didn't miss it. You're not late. You're not overlooked. You are exactly where you need to be for the door that just opened. The angels know it. Heaven knows it. Now it's time for you to know it too. Everything is aligning for you to step into divine timing. And when you do, nothing will stop what God has already declared. The heaviness you feel is not defeat, it's transition. Your spirit knows that something new is coming. That's why you've been restless. That's why nothing feels the same. Because you're being pulled out of the old and into the new. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's unfamiliar. But it's also holy, and you are not alone in this. God is with you. He's been with you every step of the way, even when you couldn't feel Him, even when you thought He was silent. He was working. And now, He's revealing what He's done. This isn't just about personal blessing. This is about your purpose in the kingdom. You're not being lifted just for yourself. You're being lifted to lift others. You're being restored so you can become a restorer. You're being healed so you can carry healing. This is bigger than you. But God knew you could handle it. That's why He chose you. And last night, heaven confirmed it. Right now, there is a fresh anointing resting over your life. A new peace, a new strength, a new authority. You don't need to explain it to anyone. Just walk in it. Let the fruit speak. Let your life reflect what God has done in the secret place. People may not understand you. They may question how and why. But they didn't see the war you fought in silence. They didn't see the angels standing guard over your bed last night. But God did. And that's why your reward is already moving your way. For too long, you've allowed the weight of the world to define you. You've carried shame that didn't belong to you, voices that told you you'd never be enough, never get out, never be free. But last night, those lies were confronted in the spirit. The accuser was silenced. Heaven spoke a better word over you, and now you're being asked to believe it. Because if you don't, you'll stay chained to something that God already broke off you. And that's not who you are anymore. If you feel God calling you out of who you used to be and into who you really are, comment 1717 to receive it now. You've felt it, haven't you? That stirring in your chest. That deep sense that something is shifting but you can't explain it. That's not your imagination. That's the Holy Spirit waking up something in you that's been buried for too long. Your faith, your voice, your boldness, your joy, your peace, all of it is rising again because God has breathed on you. And when God breathes, dry bones live, silent hearts speak again, dimmed hope burns bright again. That's what's happening in you now. It's not just about a spiritual moment, it's about a holy assignment. You've been chosen to carry something from heaven to earth. Your life is not just about survival anymore. God is moving you from surviving to living, from waiting to walking, from wondering to knowing. That's what last night activated, the shift from delay to release. The divine exchange of your ashes for beauty, your mourning for dancing, your heaviness for a garment of praise. It's not a dream, it's already begun. You may be thinking, why me? Why now? Why this way? And the answer is simple, because God trusts you. He sees beyond the cracks. He sees the heart that kept beating in the dark. He sees the soul that stayed soft, even when life tried to harden it. He sees the child who still believes, even through all the storms. And he says, you're ready. You don't need to be perfect to be chosen. You just need to be available. And right now, your availability is all God needs to do something amazing in and through you. This banned wealth signal was hidden in a government vault for over 70 years until now. It's a simple 9-word brain trigger used by elites to attract unlimited money while the rest of the world struggles. But the moment too many people see this, it could be deleted. Click the link in the description and comments before it's taken down forever. What happened last night wasn't emotional, it was eternal. It was the collision of heaven's timing and your preparation. You've cried, fasted, worshipped, doubted, begged, waited, and sometimes even forgotten what you were believing for. But God didn't forget, not for 1 second. And last night, in the quiet, He reached across eternity and touched your timeline. He rerouted what needed to shift. He cleared the path. And now, you're going to start seeing things change in ways you didn't even ask for. If you're ready to walk into this new season with open hands and an open heart, comment 1212 as your agreement with heaven. This isn't a normal moment. This is sacred. You may not see the full picture yet, but you're going to feel the change, the clarity, the calm, the strength. Doors that were once sealed will start to open. Conversations you thought were over will reignite. Opportunities that once felt impossible will appear out of nowhere. But it's not random. It's God. It's all Him. He's showing you how good He is, how close He's been, how faithful He always was, even in your darkest hour. You may be wondering, but what if I mess it up? Listen carefully. What God is doing in your life is not fragile. It's not hanging by a thread. It's not based on your performance. It's rooted in His promise. He started this, and He will finish it. Your job is not to perfect it. Your job is to partner with it, to trust it, to walk with Him one step at a time, even when it's scary, especially when it's scary, because faith was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to be powerful. The reason the angels were shocked is because they saw the chains fall and expected you to run. They saw the light return and expected you to dance. They heard the Father say, "It's time," and they waited for you to respond. But you didn't know yet, and that's okay. That's why this message came, not to condemn you, but to wake you, to stir you, to bring you back into alignment with what heaven already decided. No more second guessing, no more holding back. The spiritual battle has been fought and won. Now it's your time to walk in the aftermath of victory. The ground is yours, the door is open, the light is green, and heaven is backing you in every step. You will see favor chase you down. You will see restoration come from places you forgot about. You will see joy return like the morning sun. And it's not because you're lucky, it's because you're loved. Deeply, eternally, recklessly. Loved. God isn't just fixing what broke, He's building something better. He's not trying to return you to who you were. He's revealing who you've always been, and that person is powerful. That person is covered in grace. That person has a future full of hope. Don't settle for yesterday's identity. Don't let old fear define new freedom. You've come too far. You've seen too much. God has brought you here on purpose, and He's not done showing you what He can do. So breathe, lift your head, let the past be past. The shift has already happened. Heaven has already moved. The only thing left is for you to walk it out, and you won't walk alone, because the same angels who were in shock when you didn't know are now walking with you as you step into the truth. There is a divine alignment happening right now. Things that were tangled are loosening. Delays are turning into sudden answers. Closed hearts are softening. Blocked doors are unlocking. And this isn't just coincidence. It's consequence, the result of God's word being released over your life. That's what last night was. A divine consequence of your faith, your endurance, your silent prayers. He didn't forget what you did in the dark. He didn't overlook the times you stayed faithful when no one noticed. Heaven took note, and now heaven has responded. If you've been praying for confirmation, comment Amen right now and receive this as your word. God's not playing with your life. He's not teasing you with half hope and broken dreams. When He said He had a plan for you, He meant it. That plan didn't disappear when people betrayed you. It didn't dissolve when the job fell through or the door slammed shut. It didn't die when you were left with nothing but questions. That plan is still alive, and last night it was activated again. The parts of your life that felt dead are now being revived. You may not see it yet, but the roots are stirring. The ground is moving. The miracle is already growing. You've been faithful in the fire. You've held on through the storm. You've praised through the silence, and God is rewarding that now. Not in the way the world rewards, but in the way only He can, with peace that doesn't make sense, with clarity that wipes out confusion, with provision that doesn't add up. He's not waiting for your situation to be perfect. He's stepping into your imperfection and blessing it anyway, because that's who He is, not a distant God, not a cold judge, but a present Father who answers at the perfect time. That's why last night happened. That's why you're feeling what you're feeling right now, because this is your time. It's not coming, it's here. The angels have already begun moving pieces into place. Don't let fear pull you back. Don't let overthinking rob you of what's already yours. You don't need to earn it. You need to embrace it. God is not holding your future over your head like a prize you'll never reach. He's placing it in your hands like a gift you're finally ready to open. If you feel that this word is opening your heart to believe again, comment 222 to show your trust. You're not who you were yesterday. Something inside you is waking up. A part of you that you thought was gone forever is stirring again. That dream, that calling, that fire, it didn't die, it was buried. But God never forgot where He placed it. And last night, He breathed on it. And when God breathes, nothing stays the same. The ashes begin to move, the cold begins to melt, the silence begins to break. That's what's happening in you now. It's not emotion, it's resurrection. Can just saying 9 words daily actually make money flow into your life? A top neuroscientist says yes, and the FBI accidentally confirmed it. This forgotten prayer is now transforming ordinary people into debt-free and financially free for life. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. Some of you have been waiting for a sign to move. This is it. Some have been asking for a word to confirm what your spirit already knows. This is that word. You don't need to second guess what you feel. God is not the author of confusion. If it brings peace, if it pulls you closer to Him, if it sets you free, then it's from Him. Stop doubting every blessing. Stop questioning every good thing. The struggle trained you to expect loss, but God is retraining you to expect favor, to expect goodness, to expect Him to show up. He's not just the God of your mountaintop moments. He's the God of the valley, of the process, of the waiting, and now He's showing you the fruit of your waiting, the reward of your endurance. He hasn't changed His mind about you. He hasn't taken His hand off your life. He's still writing your story. And last night, He turned the page. This chapter will not look like the last. This season will not carry the same sorrow. There is a newness coming that only God could have created, a refreshing that only heaven could send. Your name is written in places you haven't walked into yet. People are speaking of you in rooms you've never entered. God is positioning you, even while you sleep. That's why this moment matters so much. Because while you've been preparing, heaven has been orchestrating. It's not luck, it's alignment. It's not random, it's divine timing. And when you walk with God, nothing is wasted. Not the pain, not the waiting, not even the silence. If you believe this shift is for you, don't let this pass you by. Let it anchor your spirit. Let it remind you who your God is. The same God who parted the Red Sea is parting the confusion in your mind. The same God who raised Lazarus is calling dead dreams back to life in you. The same God who sent fire down from heaven is igniting faith in your heart again. He hasn't changed, and He hasn't forgotten you. So stand tall, speak boldly, walk confidently. Not because of who you are, but because of who walks with you. The angels are no longer waiting. They've seen the awakening begin. They've seen your eyes open to what God already did. And now they're moving forward with you. You are no longer behind. You are no longer waiting for something to happen. It already has. Don't make the mistake of measuring God's movement by your emotions. Your feelings might say it's still the same, but your spirit knows better. Your heart knows what your eyes haven't seen yet. God is always working behind the scenes, arranging moments, opening paths, and lifting what the world tried to bury. You may not have noticed it this morning, but heaven has already begun preparing the people, opportunities, and miracles that were sent out with your name last night. Now your only task is to believe and stay in position. If you're standing in agreement with God's timing for your life, comment 333 to seal that truth in your heart. Heaven didn't just mark your name, it moved on your behalf. And when heaven moves, nothing stays the same. The delays that used to frustrate you are now working in your favor. What once seemed like rejection was actually redirection. God was never punishing you. He was protecting you from things that didn't match your calling. That's why certain relationships ended. That's why doors closed. That's why nothing else seemed to work, because He was preparing you for something greater. And now that greater has been set in motion. You don't have to beg for what's already yours. You don't have to prove yourself to receive something God has freely given. The shift wasn't about earning it, it was about timing. God saw the posture of your heart, not just your actions. He saw you trusting Him when it didn't make sense. He saw you surrender when others would have walked away. He saw you forgive when it would have been easier to hate. He saw it all, and last night He responded with release. You may not hear trumpets, you may not see fireworks, but what has happened in the unseen realm is more powerful than anything you've experienced in the natural. Heaven's move over your life is quiet but unstoppable. It's subtle but mighty. God doesn't need a spotlight to change everything. He just needs your heart to say yes. And you've said yes, even when you were weary, even when you were confused. That kind of yes has power. That kind of surrender moves heaven. If you've been walking in quiet obedience, unsure if it mattered, comment 555 to declare your faith has not been in vain. There's a reason your spirit feels both stirred and shaken. You're feeling the aftershock of a heavenly shift. Your soul recognizes that something is different. And that's because the place you've been spiritually is no longer your home. You're moving. You're being elevated. You're being taken from a place of survival to a position of spiritual strength. God isn't just bringing you out of a hard season. He's lifting you into your appointed one, the one He designed before you were even born. That's why the warfare increased before this. That's why everything seemed to go silent. The enemy fights hardest when you're closest to your next. And he tried everything to discourage you, to make you feel like nothing was working, to pull you into isolation, distraction, bitterness. But it didn't work. You stayed standing, maybe barely, maybe with tears in your eyes, but you didn't quit. And that's what heaven responded to last night. God said, "That one right there, they're ready. And now it's your turn to rise." Not because everything around you looks perfect, but because your spirit is aligned with heaven. And when your spirit agrees with what heaven has declared, you walk differently, you speak differently, you trust differently. You know that no matter what you see, God is behind it all, orchestrating every moment to serve His plan in your life. Nothing is random, nothing is wasted. Every delay, every no, every moment you felt overlooked, it's all coming together now. Why are 55 countries using the same mysterious money script? Because a leaked research file just exposed a 9-word pattern that activates wealth-attracting pathways in the brain. Repeat it daily and watch money flow like water into your life. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. You were never behind. You were in training, and the training is over. The testing has passed. Now begins the unveiling. God is revealing the fruit of the hidden years, the reward for the silent battles, the restoration of all that felt lost. And as this unfolds, you'll begin to see why the wait was so long, why the path was so narrow, and why the burden was so heavy, because the glory that's coming will be greater than all of it. Heaven's move last night didn't just unlock blessing, it shifted identity. You're not who you were. You're not the broken version of yourself that others tried to define. You are who God says you are, chosen, set apart, called by name, covered in grace, surrounded by favor, held in divine hands. And no weapon formed against you will prosper, because heaven has already ruled in your favor. The verdict has been spoken. You are free. So walk like it, speak like it, live like it. Let go of the lies you believed before. Let go of the doubt that gripped you. Let go of the voices that told you you'd always stay stuck. They were wrong. God was working. And now, the proof is about to pour into your life like rain. Not because you demanded it, but because you trusted Him enough to wait. Because you believed when nothing made sense. Because you worshipped when you didn't have the strength. And heaven rewards that kind of heart. This isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. One where the weight you carried is lifted, where the prayers you whispered become testimonies, where the loss you endured turns into laughter, where the storm you survived becomes the very proof of God's faithfulness. He's not finished with you. He's just getting started. You might look around and still see the same struggles, but what's happening in the spirit is already taking over. Your reality is catching up with what heaven has spoken. And heaven is never wrong. What God decrees cannot be undone. There's no devil, no lie, no delay that can override the word He's spoken. That's why this matters so much. Because when God speaks, creation aligns. And when God calls your name, everything has to shift to make room for what He's about to do in your life. If you believe everything is already beginning to align, comment 1111 to confirm it with your faith. There are things that were locked up for years that are being released right now. Not because you finally figured it all out, but because the time is right. You've been faithful, you've waited, you've cried. You've even questioned if any of it mattered. And heaven's answer came last night. It mattered more than you know. Every step of obedience, every time you chose forgiveness over bitterness, every time you worshipped instead of giving in it all, built a foundation, a place for the promise to land, a space for heaven to invade. And now, that promise is no longer coming. It's here. The reason it's been so hard lately is because the enemy knew what you didn't, that the moment was near. He threw distractions, discouragement, and lies at you with everything he had. He wanted you to give up right before your name was called. But you didn't. You stood your ground, even when it shook beneath your feet. And now the shaking has stopped. What you're feeling is not fear, it's the sound of a door opening in the spirit. You are not who you were before last night. You are now marked by something different. The presence of God has gone ahead of you. You are no longer walking into rooms alone. You are no longer fighting battles with your own strength. The Lord has taken up your cause. The things that used to intimidate you will now bow before the authority God is placing on your life. Because when heaven declares a shift, the earth responds. The people around you may not understand it, but they will see it. This next season of your life will not be defined by effort, but by alignment. God is moving you out of striving and into trusting. You've been trying to fix everything, hold it all together, make it make sense. But God is saying, let me take it from here. You've done enough. You've stood long enough. You've hoped through enough. Now, it's my turn. The battle is no longer yours. The war has already been won. If your heart is ready to stop striving and start trusting, comment 777 as a declaration of surrender. You didn't miss it. I need you to hear that again. You didn't miss it. Even with all your doubts, even with all your imperfections, even with the times you wanted to walk away, God never took His eyes off you. He never canceled your purpose. He never pulled His hand back. And last night proves that. The angels were in awe, not because of what you did wrong, but because of how close you were to breakthrough and still didn't realize it. They knew what had been spoken over you. They saw what God had released, and they were waiting for you to wake up and walk in it. And now you are. Everything changes from here. You're not returning to what you came from. You're stepping into something entirely new. You're going to notice things falling away, people, habits, fears, even thoughts that used to hold power over you. It's not because you're losing anything. It's because you're being prepared to carry what's greater. What used to distract you won't have the same pull. What used to shake you won't have the same weight. You're being lifted, not just in life, but in spirit. This is what it feels like to be called, to be known by heaven, to be seen by God in the middle of your pain and still chosen to rise. He never needed you to be perfect. He needed you to stay connected. And now you're about to see why that connection mattered. Things that felt distant will suddenly become clear. Provision will come from unexpected places. Peace will settle where anxiety used to live, because you've aligned with what God already released in the Spirit. What secret did the FBI hide about your brain and money? They discovered a phrase just 9 words long that flips a switch in your mind to attract wealth without effort. It's already changed the lives of thousands of people in just weeks. If you're seeing this, you're lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. Don't wait for someone to confirm what God already said. Stop asking for signs that you already received. Heaven moved. That was the sign. This moment right here, it's part of the movement. Your spirit wouldn't be stirred if nothing had happened. You wouldn't feel this if God hadn't done something. The feeling you have isn't just emotion, it's divine recognition. Your heart knows the truth, even if your mind is still trying to catch up. You're going to look back on this and realize it was the moment everything began to shift. You won't be able to explain it to everyone, but you'll know. You'll remember what it felt like when something deep inside you changed, when the heaviness broke, when the silence lifted, when the fear lost its grip. And in that moment, you'll understand it all started the night heaven called your name. God hasn't just visited your life, He's inhabiting it. He's taking up space in the places that once held fear, doubt, and worry. He's moving in and making it clear this is His territory now. Your heart, your future, your steps, your purpose. They all belong to Him. And when He takes over, nothing stays broken for long. Heaven has already made room for you. The blessing has already begun to unfold. And yet, you're still looking around, wondering when it will happen. God says, it already has. You're standing in the space between what used to hold you and what's about to carry you. This is the in-between, and it's holy ground. You're not stuck. You're positioned for growth, positioned for miracles, positioned for things you didn't even ask for, because God knows what you need before you speak a word. If you're ready to leave behind the old and walk into what's next, comment 1010 now to agree with what heaven has started. You've waited a long time, long enough to start believing maybe it wouldn't happen, long enough to see others get what you prayed for, long enough for the enemy to whisper that God forgot you, but the devil is a liar. He wanted you to think heaven went silent, but heaven was only working deeper. God was never ignoring you. He was investing in you. While you felt abandoned, He was building something unshakable inside you. And now, what was hidden is beginning to surface. The fruit is coming. The reward is rising. The doors are opening. But this isn't about luck. This is the result of seeds planted in pain, watered in tears, and rooted in faith. God doesn't forget the seeds. And He never fails to bring the harvest. You thought you were being overlooked, but God was growing something underground, something that would break the surface when the time was right. And now it's breaking through, quietly, powerfully, divinely. What you're feeling isn't just relief, it's release. Release from fear, from shame, from everything that once held you back. You no longer belong to the season that broke you. You belong to the God who kept you. He carried you through that valley, and now He's leading you into promise, into healing, into provision. And not just for you, but through you. You are being lifted to become a light for others who are still in the dark. That's why your breakthrough matters so much. If you believe your breakthrough will lead others to hope, comment 1515 to stand in agreement. God isn't just turning your story around. He's rewriting how the enemy tried to define you. Every label that was put on you, rejected, forgotten, failure, too late, it's being erased. Heaven calls you chosen, loved, held, worthy, restored, and those words carry more weight than anything spoken over you in your past. What heaven says lasts forever. And heaven said, "You are mine." That's what last night sealed. It wasn't just the end of a hard season. It was the beginning of a divine one. One where the grace of God goes before you, the favor of God surrounds you, and the promises of God chase you down. You don't have to chase blessing anymore. It's chasing you. You don't have to beg for peace anymore. It's finding you. You don't have to force the door open. Heaven already opened it. Don't look for confirmation from people who can't see what God has spoken. Some of them weren't meant to understand this part of your story. It's not their fault. It's just that God is doing something so personal, so sacred, they wouldn't be able to comprehend it even if you tried to explain. Let their silence be a reminder that this is between you and heaven. Your story is unfolding, and they'll see the fruit when it's time. For now, just keep moving forward. Heaven's not done. What started last night is only the beginning. The same God who parted the sea will part the chaos in your life. The same God who fed thousands will provide more than enough for you. The same God who raised the dead is breathing life into everything you thought was finished. Don't be afraid to hope again. Don't hold back your joy because of fear it might not last. What God is doing now isn't temporary. It's rooted in eternity. You're not being set up for disappointment. You're being prepared for testimony. Your life is about to speak of God's goodness in ways no sermon ever could. People will see the change in you. They'll notice the peace. They'll wonder where the strength came from. And when they ask, you'll say, "It happened the night heaven moved for me." Let go of the old voice that says, "Maybe it's too late." God doesn't move by your calendar. He moves by purpose. And his purpose for your life hasn't expired, not even close. In fact, the delay you've experienced has only made room for a double portion.